This is yet another video not about, but still prompted by Bunny Girl Senpai. For a anime YouTuber, I don't really watch many anime or read many manga, and light novels either, but I'm getting more into that recently. And to be honest, a few of my manga choices are very bandwagony, despite being an anime fan since having access to the internet. But what I will tell you is that I am pissed off whenever an anime readapts a movie into a series. I've been annoyed about this since before I started disliking anime, except for that one anime, and you know which anime it is. No, you don't. I don't speak about it. Like, I didn't have the concept of disliking anime except for that one anime, but I was still annoyed and skipped the Dragon Ball Super parts that I'd watched as movies. Like, keep in mind, I was the same guy that proceeded to watch all the filler in pre-Sasuke retrieval arc Naruto. So, because of my lack of watching anime, though I do watch quite a bit, I don't really see what Bunny Girl Senpai has done and is doing in other anime. And that is using the choice of medium as a way to pace the story better. The only other anime I've seen do this is Chainsaw Man, and Mappa could be readapting it into season 2, but I doubt it. I think I've spoken about this a bit on this channel, but Bunny Girl Senpai has this weird middle arc between the Dreaming Girl saga and the university arc that isn't directly involved, kinda, now that I've read the final book, but really sets up the university arc. This mini arc focuses on all three of the Asasagawa siblings and their family dynamic, while setting up a big moment in a later book. The issue is it's 2 books long. That would be like 5 to 6 episodes at most, and likely 4 going at season 1 pace. And another thing we aren't focusing on is that the Dreaming Girl saga wasn't finished within season 1, it had its own movie as well. The movie covered the remaining 2 books in the Dreaming Girl saga. To be brought to a season pace, and to be episodic, would reduce this movie in its themes and impact. Though I do think my getting hit by a car would have been an insane ending to an episode. I do think it'd be also 5 to 6 episodes long. That would be 10 to 12 episodes. If it's 10 episodes, that leaves these mini 2 to 3 episodes to focus on one more book. And that would be Zuki's arc. Not only would, like, a hypothetical season 2 that reduces all these movies to episodes start with the end of the last saga in Dreaming Girl, it would have this mini saga and then the start of the next one. The time jumps are insane. It wouldn't be a coherent season. So they did the right choice in making them movies. Dreaming Girl was an obvious movie, to be honest. It caps off all the foreshadowing from the previous season, whilst also upping the stakes, having the highest stakes of the entire series with ease. It brings the themes in at full force and has the necessary source material to cover the time. Cloverworks did a brilliant job with an already amazing source material. However, the next 2 books weren't handled very well. I'm not going to blame Cloverworks for this. I'm going to blame Aniplex because I don't know what producers do, so I just want to throw them under the bus. I think the choice to make them movies instead of like a 6-episode OVA kind of thing was questionable, but separating them from what became season 2 was a great choice. However, they released both movies at damn near the same time, and the second movie was only on one streaming service. Most places I saw, like online, didn't know the second movie existed. The third movie existed. Like, I had to go on Billy TV. Shout out Billy TV. I'm currently watching on that. If you don't know what is, I don't either. They also did barely any marketing for them. Like, I didn't even know both movies were out. I thought one of them was out. But back to the point of this video, and not me complaining at Aniplex. These movies are good. They've got better animation compared to season 1 and even Dreaming Girl. But Cloverworks, I've seen how you can animate. I understand that Bunny Girl Senpai has an art style. I've seen you animate. I watched Dress Up Darling. I've seen you animate. Realistically, the animation wasn't improved by it being a movie. Season 2 has this level of animation. They just got slightly better over time. However, I do think that if you were going to want to hype up a season 2 release, like I guess these were planning on being a hype up, you could have had a weekly OVA or a full batch release OVA for these, so people were reminded that Bunny Girl Senpai exists. I bet they came into season 2 not even realizing there'd been a movie at all, and there was 3 of them. I'm mad that you only released the third movie to other, like, streaming services once season 2 was gonna release, like a week before. And I remember, because I was there. Chainsaw Man did a great job. Much like how Bunny Girl Senpai source material made it better for it to become a movie, the manga for Chainsaw Man was cinematic as fuck. The Fujimoto loves himself some movies, and Mappa took the opportunity to take such a cinematic masterpiece as the Rize arc and steal Demon Slayer's entire flow. And they improved the bag. Unlike Bunny Girl Senpai, which wasn't being spoken about outside of certain circles past 2018, Chainsaw Man had hype going into it. With the release of Part 2 ongoing, at the time, people were excited and hyped to watch that movie in cinemas, and I almost did. The money was absolutely a factor in why Mappa did it this way. I wholly believe Mappa could have worked out a season structure around this arc and the International Assassins arc. There is a Santa joke here, but in their defense, I think that something would have had to been turned into a movie. It gets them plenty of money anyway. Should have won an Oscar. Who the fuck is Oscar? Boom! Monogatari jump scare. Kiz and Monogatari getting a trio of films is insane, actually. It's a shock to both the other examples. Monogatari is very popular in Japan, I think. I could be wrong. But it's not popular enough to make a movie worthwhile, let alone 3. That might be a lie. I do understand that it is quite a long book, but all of them are. 3 movies? Oh my god. I think it was given it for a similar reason Rize was given a movie. It works incredibly well as a movie. In fact, I could argue that each of them could have been a movie. Every single book. Except Hana Monogatari. Hana Monogatari can be thrown in the bin. But the amount of time to make at least 20 movies, or 22 if we give Kizu its 3, plus more apparently. There's a Monogatari anime coming out soon of a book that I don't have because it's not in English yet. And I'm not going to watch the anime. I believe the Kizu movies work well because the care and effort need to be put into those movies to match the Monogatari literary style is incredible. It's massive. The very eccentric style needed is exactly what we were given. Everything's over the top dramatic in the most dramatic book in the series. It's almost begging to become a movie or 3. But instead of cutting down the screen time, they chose to bolster it. Make everything hit. Make sure it's all in there. This is basically to say that the use of movie in adaptation isn't something necessary. Chainsaw Man may have used its movie to make the pacing better for future arcs, but it works so well because it's cinematic and a completed story within the borders of its arc. And the story of Kizu Monogatari wasn't needing a movie or 3, but it definitely works as 3. I've realized I finished this script and got ready to record it, and I'd forgotten someone. And it's not like I'm going to add her for no reason. Like, she's very important to me. For very good reason. And she fits the script for one reason that I haven't brought up yet. And it's so very important that I bring her to this every way I can. Haruhi! Yes, that's right. The God Queen of the Time of Illucio Warp herself. Haruhi Suzumiya of Haruhi Suzumiya fame. The melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya put Kyoto Animations on the map. But season 1 adapted a weird mishmash of multiple books in the light novels. Obviously, mostly adapting book 1. And it took a stylish route to do so. And they had something in mind for season 2 when they were told to make a season 2. So that's where we come in with the topic of this video. They wanted to adapt the 3rd book in the Haruhi Suzumiya series, The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. Is it book 3 or 4? Oh my god, it's book 4! However, someone, during some process, realised that book 4 would have been an incredible movie. The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya is book 4. And it was an incredible movie. It brought the level of depth we needed from that book out, and gave every moment a chance to be a moment, a chance to breathe, to sit, to soak. Where in an episodic format, some of those moments probably would have fallen flat. And even though realistically, it shouldn't have been a send-off, it's a great way that Kyoto Animation had to end. When season 3 KyoAni, the author came back. The voice actor's been voice acting Haruhi every year. Trust me, I know. I've been listening to Chasing Destiny on loop for the last 4 months. Please! Please! But because of the greatness of the 2014 movie, we had to deal with the 2010's Season 2, which was a re-release of Season 1, interjected with Season 2 episodes. It was in chronological order, which means the worst thing for you guys, and us, and me. But I was 5 at the time, so I can't really say us. They had 8 episodes in a row of the same episode. Endless 8, my beloved, is a consequence of the 2014 anime movie, The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. And sometimes, even if the movie was incredible, the rest of the anime can suffer for it. And that is the only reason why I brought Haruhi Suzumiya, the god queen of the time evolution warp, into this video, was because the movie's fire, and I wanted to bring her up. She's my favorite character of all time. Good day, Joseph.
Yeah, she was always kind of annoying, which is why, like, when people were like, yo, Haruhi, I love the Haruhi series, and Haruhi's my favorite character, I'm like, yeah, you need help.
Good day, Joseph. The whole point of this is that the use of a movie can be an incredible tool for an adaptation. In Bunny Girl Senpai, it was to fix a few pacing issues and weird, iffy thingies that would come from having multiple sagas in one season. It can also be used as a literary tool as well, improving the story as a whole by packaging it as a complete story. Dreaming Girl and First Love were an arc that deserved the respect of a movie, and also fit it for an adaptation. Same with the Rize arc. I love Rize. It can also serve as a tool for marketing. Movies make a lot of money, but take a lot of money to produce. The Chainsaw Man movie used the hype around the show already, and capitalized on its popularity, despite the fact that this can have the opposite effect. Bunny Girl Senpai wasn't spoken about anymore, and got punished for it. Most people probably came into Season 2 not realizing there was a movie at all, and struggled to find the connecting pieces. We understand that Bunny Girl Senpai refusing to make a Season 2 out of these movies was the best option. However, they didn't exactly pick the right one, and they didn't handle it correctly at that. But to be honest, it's way better than nothing. So, that was interesting. I just finished one of my favourite bits I've ever done, the fuck you Joey bit. Haruhi is genuinely my favourite character of all time, and hearing two of my favourite content creators of all time dog on my favourite character. Yeah, this was an interesting one. I hope you guys don't mind. Mostly because my internet is ass right now, and I didn't really want to go online to find clips. The only clip I went online to find was actively that Trash Taste clip, which is the last episode of Trash Taste I ever watched. I recorded it all in a batch like a week and a half ago, and I was like, I'm gonna wait until my internet's good to grab the clips I need, and then my internet just never got good, and I was afraid that I'd lose the internet and never be able to upload this anyway. So I'm like, I need to create a big enough buffer so that I can just batch make these Bunny Girl Senpai videos. Anyway, this was a fun edit. I got to try some new things. I got to be lazy as shit, and I think the quality of the video is roughly as good as it would be. I'm glad to have made this one. This one's I'm not like super proud of the script and everything, but I'm just glad I made it. I had fun. Okay, with next week on the 28th is failing to keep the tone. I know exactly what that's about. That's not about an anime for once. So you get to watch that. I hope you guys will enjoy, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, which is next week. Cool.